Raider Nation, what's going on? It's Mitchell Renz here, host of the Raiders Report from Chat Sports. And coming up on today's show, I decided to look at NFL power rankings from places like NFL.com, ESPN, Yahoo Sports, CBS, Bleacher Report, and give my reaction to where they have the Las Vegas Raiders ranked after their 1-0 start and after their 17-16 win over the Denver Donkeys. So before we get into seeing where all these other places have the Raiders ranked, and at the very end of the show, I'm going to tell you where I would put the Raiders in my own personal power rankings. But this show is about the nation. This show is about giving y'all a voice. So where would you rank the Raiders in your own personal power rankings right now? Let's first go to NFL.com, where they say that right now the Raiders' current ranking in the NFL is 23. Their previous ranking was 27th, and the analyst from NFL.com that did this entire article said, what resonated most for me was the Raiders' grit and resolve in tough spots. And I totally agree with that statement. When you think about the fact that the Raiders were able to win this game, a very ugly game, I mean, if I'm being real, if you would have told me that Las Vegas would have an interception in the end zone of this game and only score 17 points, I would have never said in hell that they were going to win. My bone to pick, though, with NFL.com is this. How in the world does it make any sense possible to put the Broncos at 20 and the Raiders at 23? The Las Vegas Raiders have owned Denver. The Las Vegas Raiders and the Oakland Raiders, the Raiders in general, have won 7 straight games. It has been over 1,355 days since Denver has taken down Las Vegas. And shit, we got to wait all the way until 2024 for another opportunity. The Raiders went into Denver, beat Sean Payton, beat Russell Wilson on the road in a hostile environment, and yet you're still going to rank them above the Raiders? It's laughable. This is why people, Raider fans, don't look at a lot of these top media outlets because they don't know what they're talking about. They don't. It's why they sit up here with YouTube and rock with guys like Wasted Hammer, myself, and all the other awesome Raiders content creators out there. So make sure you never miss a moment and actually get good Raiders content. Hit that subscribe button. Turn on those notifications. That way you get news, updates all season long from real ones like myself, Jeremy, and if you're a real one, spam RO4L down in the comments. Let's now go to ESPN and their power rankings for the Silver and Black. Their current ranking, which I was kind of surprised because I did not anticipate ESPN to have the Raiders ranked as high as what they were, because I remember looking at the previous ranking and they were at 23 to start out the season. And now they're sitting here at number 19. The analyst that wrote the article said, as solid as his stat line was, Garoppolo's huddle presence, leadership, and willingness to run for a game-clinching first down won over the Raiders' locker room. I sat up here on this show and I said Derek Carr could never. And I meant it more because Derek is a good quarterback. He's not the leader that Jimmy Garoppolo is. Whether you like to hear that or not, the huddle presence. How often on this show do I sit up here and I say, when it comes down to the nitty-gritty, every single one of those players wants to be able to look at that quarterback in the eyes and say, you know what? We're going to get this done. Jimmy Garoppolo is not the most talented QB. But dude reeks, and I mean reeks of confidence. And that sometimes is the most important thing that you can have at the quarterback position. Jimmy G, when it mattered the most, stepped up. When it mattered the most, the Raiders got it done. Last season, this team would have never won that Week 1 game. That's a fact. Like, I already know that. And the fact that the Raiders were able to win this game playing their C game speaks volumes to how much different this Las Vegas Raiders team is overall. So again, we did rankings from NFL.com. We did it from ESPN. And then we also did one from CBS. Plus, we're going to look at Yahoo Sports. Plus, we're going to look at Bleacher Report. CBS, I got a bone to pick with y'all. But as soon as I saw who wrote the article, I wasn't all that surprised. So CBS had the Raiders ranked at 29. And then they put them at 25. The analyst said it was pretty good against Denver, but they found a way to pull it out with a late game drive. The defense gave up some yards, but only 16 points. For those of you that don't know that who wrote this article. His name is Pete Prisco, and Pete has always been a Raider hater. Like, the fact that the Raiders are the lowest ranked team in the power rankings according to CBS Sports, they're the lowest ranked 1-0 team. And I've been doing a lot of fantasy football content for a long time. I don't do it anymore, but I did. It's how I got to here. And I always looked at CBS Sports because that was like the very first podcast I listened to because my family fantasy football league was on CBS. Pete Prisco's been there for a while. Pete, stick to fantasy football because this whole power ranking thing, it's not yours. Let's go now to what Jeremy Chuggs and I are going to be doing next weekend. Bro, I can't wait, man. I've been talking with Chuggs about this event for a long time, and if you want to hang out with Jeremy and I next weekend for the home opener, Saturday all day, we're open. We're going to be hanging out with the nation all day on Saturday, and if you want to get your free tickets, we only have a limited amount because of occupancy space. Get yours right now at blackoutdivision.com. Link's going to be available for you guys down in the comments and in the description of today's show. But on top of that, the only thing that you will have to pay for that Jeremy and I won't be at is Sunday, when if you guys want to be able to tailgate party with Graphic Raider with some of these other guys, use code Raiders Report for $10 off your party bus ticket. So essentially, you get some drinks, you take a party bus to Allegiant Stadium, that party bus picks you up and then takes you back. If you try to buy an Uber, it's a lot more expensive than a free party bus, is essentially what I'm saying here. But the number one thing that I want y'all to do is pull up to Tropicana if you're going to be in Las Vegas next weekend. Saturday night, free to get into. I mean, there's going to be drinks, there's going to be music, it's a giant club scene, and rumor has it, there might be a boot that goes down. I don't know. And if you also want to hear us interview Marquette King, that's going to be at the Blue Wire Studios at Wynn Las Vegas, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Come hang out with Jeremy Chuggs and I. Come hang out with a bunch of other Raiders content creators. 100% free. It's all about giving back to the nation. Blackoutdivision.com. All right, let's now go to Yahoo Sports. And I almost shit a brick when I saw this because Yahoo, I usually don't love the content that they make, but you know what? You can buy me over if you're going to put the Raiders at 15. Raiders got off to a winning start with Jimmy Garoppolo edging the Broncos is what the analysis said. I know, it's like edging the Broncos, but they previously had him at 26. I think if I were to make power rankings, which I did for Chat Sports, I originally had the Raiders at 20, and now I moved them up. To me, I was worried about the defense, but the fact that the offense didn't play well, and you only scored 17 points, and you were able to come away with a win, that defense deserves a lot more credit than, honestly, what they are getting. So to me, I saw the ranking. I thought, awesome. Though 15, a little high, you guys can let me know. All right, let's go to the final power ranking here that we're going to be breaking down. Bleacher Report. Currently have the Raiders at 20, previously had them at 23. The analyst says the 17-16 win over the Broncos didn't produce a ton of highlight moments, but the connection between Jimmy Garoppolo and Jacoby Myers deserves some attention. It does deserve some attention. I was on this show for a few weeks saying that I love Devontae Adams, but the best value receiver for fantasy football was Jacoby Myers, and I knew it because of what Josh McDaniels likes to do, the way that he runs routes and how it's going to end up working with the overall offense and with Jimmy Garoppolo. And Myers was spectacular. 10 targets, 9 grabs, 81 yards, 2 touchdowns. He dropped a touchdown. You go back and you watch film, Garoppolo threw another dot right on him that if he caught that, 10 for 85 and 3 scores, sounds like a pretty good day. He is unfortunately in the concussion protocol, so if the Raiders are able to go into Buffalo and come away with a win, they're at, on average right now, about 20.4 in the NFL Power Rankings list. If they beat Buffalo and they're 2-0, every single spot better have the Raiders in their top 8. And if you think that's a crazy statement, you need to wake up. To win your first 2 road games against the Broncos with Sean Payton and then on the road against Josh Allen and Buffalo, they better be in the top 8. Put some respect on the silver and black. So for me personally, I would put the Raiders at 16 right now. I think they are literally the middle of the road. I can sit up here and tell you why they're a good team. I can sit up here and tell you why they're a bad team. But on the offensive side of the football, they have one of the best O-lines in the league. Check. They have so much talent on the offensive side of the football. Check. Defensively, they have some upside. The biggest black eye on that team is the defensive line. Can they get that together? And if that answer turns into a yes, this team can turn out to be one hell of a football team this upcoming season.